was me all along. Had a million
Hey everyone, my name is Sophie from Sophisticated Organization. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Today is another Sophisticated Saturday where together we work through my to-do list and get things done around the house. And let me tell you, there are a lot of things to get done around the house. I'm feeling very pregnant. I started off by pulling off my pregnancy pillow from the bed and making the bed, hoping we are going to have a great Saturday and a great start to the day and a very productive day. The kitchen started off a little bit messy today, so that's where I'm going to start, putting away the last few dishes that were clean that I had on the countertop. Also putting away some dirty dishes from breakfast because Owen likes to have breakfast first thing in the morning. And first thing in the morning for him can start as early as 5 o'clock, but we try and hold off breakfast as long as humanly possible because I know I don't want to be in the kitchen at 5 o'clock making him breakfast, and I don't want him to be in the habit of eating breakfast at 5 a.m. So I haven't even had my first cup of coffee yet. After I finished wiping off the countertops, got everything clean, then I turned over to make myself a cup of coffee. I'm saying this like it's caffeinated coffee. Even though I have decaf coffee, I think it's still just the ritual of having that morning coffee that I really enjoy. I have been having decaf coffee for a couple of years at this point, but I still love my morning cup of coffee.
world that we couldn't fit in, and how we used to walk those empty streets at night. In the city lights is where I saw you for the last time. Said our goodbyes, sat in the car, you saw the pain.
As you can see, the living room was already pretty messy. That goes back to the child that wakes up at 5 o'clock. We've done plenty of playing already today, even though it's still pretty early in the morning. And I know he's going to play in here later today, but I still like to have it clean. And I say this all the time, but it does not take long to pick up the living room and just throw all the toys in their respective bins, put the pillows in the right spot on the couch, and feel a lot better about my space.
Nobody said it was easy, but maybe I should have known. Guitar.
So I did all of that while my coffee was finishing brewing. For some reason, we got a new Keurig, and I think this one takes longer than normal or longer than our last one, even though it's the exact same model. I have no idea, but it takes a long time to brew a cup of coffee. I'm sure it finished while I was still over there picking things up, but I like to multitask when I can, so I let that coffee go, and then we can get back to cleaning. I'm going to clean off the tabletop from breakfast, clean off Owen's high chair, using this cleaner I've been using from Thrive Market. It's a holiday scent that they have, which I have been really enjoying using in my kitchen.
Maybe I should have known.
I did a load of Owen's laundry first thing in the morning, and it is dry and ready to be hung and folded. So I'm going to start by doing all of the hanging. I kind of like hanging. I've been finding myself hanging more things than folding. If anything is a cute little matching set, then I end up putting it on hangers. I just find it a lot easier to hang stuff rather than fold it for him. And I like to see his sets all displayed in his closet for him. So I'm starting with that just because I kind of enjoy that part of the laundry. And then I'll still have to do the rest of his laundry that I'm folding. And I washed his crib sheet, which I do every time I wash his laundry. So I'm going to put the new crib sheet on his crib. And I won't bore you with all of his laundry today because it was a very large load. And you don't need to see me fold every single item of his clothing. I will mention, however, when I'm folding his laundry, I always look at it with a very critical eye. I try and look at it when I am switching it from the washing machine to the dryer because if I find a stain, that's the best spot to catch it, is if the stain didn't come out in the washing machine, you have a much better chance of getting the stain out the second time around if it hasn't gone through the dryer. The dryer almost sets stains in, but unfortunately, there are times that I find clothing that has stains on it, so I always pull those out and don't fold them or put them away, of course. I did have one piece that I caught before I put it into the dryer, and I knew to look out for it because it had so much red sauce on it. So I'm just going to give that a soak with some of my Branch Basics Oxy Booster and let that sit in there before I do another stain treatment on top of that and stick it through the washing machine again with the next round of doing clothing. In the meantime, I'm going to get a load of rags going. I've shared this before, but I use the Tide laundry detergent when I'm doing our rags. It's just a little bit of a deeper clean, and it's a little bit more economical than some of my more natural laundry detergents. And sometimes I feel like the rags that are in there need that little bit of scent boost. Back downstairs, I'm in the kitchen just for a quick moment here. I had a pineapple, I'm sure you saw at the beginning of the video when I was cleaning the kitchen in the background. I needed to get that chopped up. I like trying to get as many things as I can into the garbage before we have garbage day. So that includes all of those big pieces of pineapple, because when you break down a pineapple, there is a fair amount of garbage that results. And I also like having fresh fruit and everything that I can prepped for the week ahead. I pulled out a couple of things for the recipe I'm going to be making later, but before I do that, I have an organizing project coming up. So here's a quick behind the scenes of me measuring the spaces, trying to find some organizers that are going to fit in there. This is the kids' linen closets, their bathroom storage, and it's such a mess right now. I have just a few leftover random bins in there, although I do think those bins work well in there, so I might get more of them. We'll see. But stay tuned for a video on kids' linen closet organization where I am going to revamp that space. Now we are in my bathroom. Today seems like so many random tasks, but sometimes that's how Saturdays work, and that's how my to-do list honestly works. It's just whatever needs to get done that day, and today was washing my makeup brushes. It had been a while. Simple process I use is just baby soap, using my hand and some warm water, continuing to go baby soap, water, until the brush runs completely clean, and I just let it sit on the edge of my sink there overnight, and then in the morning I kind of fluff it up a little bit, and it is perfect and ready to go for the next day. Today's recipe was a delicious sandwich that both Jim and I absolutely loved. I will put the recipe in the description box below, but there was kind of like a marinade dressing and another sauce. There was 2 different sauces that I had to get prepping. The one in the larger bowl is going to go half on my chicken as a marinade, and then the one in the smaller dressing container is just going to go on the bread at the end. So I'm adding in my spices, my fresh herbs from my little garden, quote unquote garden, that I have in our mudroom, where I grow a few different herbs and things like that inside. It's an investment at the outset, but I do feel like it has been saving a lot of money on expensive herbs at the grocery store. You'll see I have my phone with me as I'm making these dressings and marinades because I've never made this recipe before, and I need to keep looking at it to make sure I have the right measurements and I'm doing everything correctly. Now I'm just gonna get the chicken prepped. I think the recipe called for chicken tenders or something smaller than chicken breasts. So I'm just gonna cut them to thin them out a little bit. And then once I get each piece cut the way that I want, I'm adding it to my bowl so I can add in the marinade before adding some oil to my pan that is preheating and getting that cooked. This probably would have been even better on the grill. Again, I think the recipe did say to grill the chicken or use a grill pan or a pan and gave you all of the different options. And because there is some sandwich bread, that would also be great on the grill. But it's way too cold outside today. I'm not interested in going out, so I'm going to just do it on the stovetop here in a regular pan. We are still multitasking today. So once I got that chicken on the pan, I'm going to jog upstairs. Like I shared before, I was going to let Owen's shirt that was covered in tomato sauce soak in that Oxy Boost for a little bit and then take it out. And I am adding this stain remover on top. That is magical. I'm telling you, it is for kids, but I use it on my own clothing as well. It does the best on food stains for some reason. It does great on most types of stains, but food stains, they disappear like magic. And this is a white shirt with red sauce, and I'm still confident I will get it out of there. Okay, it is time to compose the sandwich. It's a little bit later in the day. It's now time for dinner. So I'm going to add all of the components. I did toast the bread in the oven with a little bit of olive oil there. And I'm gonna make a sandwich for myself and for Jim. And I'm just looking at my phone to make sure I have the right order and steps to this because there are so many parts to it. So I'm adding that tahini dressing. Probably should have taken the top of this dressing shaker off because it was a little bit thick. You do add water to it to thin it out, so I could have added more water to make it thinner, or I could have just opened it up and taken a knife. Then I'm adding my avocado. You can smash it up or have it in slices. You'll see I chopped up some sun-dried tomatoes as well as pepperoncinis. Just gonna sprinkle those on top of the avocado there. And then we will get to the rest of the layers. I'm adding the chicken to each sandwich. And then the recipe says to use some of that leftover chicken marinade to top on top of the chicken there, which I really, really liked the chicken marinade. The sauce that went on the bottom of the bread I liked as well, but not as much as the marinade. So I made sure to add a little extra marinade there, which I think made the sandwich extra messy. Then arugula goes on top, and I chose to use mozzarella cheese, fresh mozzarella cheese, because I had mozzarella cheese that was going bad, and I would do it again the same way. The mozzarella cheese added a nice creaminess to it and tied the sandwich together, in my opinion. Last but not least, I added on a little bit more of that sauce on the top of the bread, and we were ready for dinner. So thank you so much for joining me for another Sophisticated Saturday, and until next time, I will see you all later.
I'm taking my toothbrush. How does that feel?